time for all your binge-worthy pop culture news. Welcome to Up and Adam.
Hi, guys. Welcome back and happy, Wednesday. All right, guys. Well, this is going to be an interesting rest of the week because as we're waiting for Ryan Bailey, you guys know that this weekend we are going out of town to the Bahamas. So we're hopefully going to be posting a lot of vlogs and getting into all of the mess from where we're at. But we're not missing anything. No after parties, no recaps. You guys know wherever we go, we don't miss everything that's going on. Now, with that, guys, I see that we have almost 100 in the room, so go ahead and smash that like button. And Shaylee has a great question, which I completely agree with. While we wait for Ryan Bailey, what did you guys rate last night's episode of 1 to 10? Now, before we get into that, I would probably say last night for me was maybe a 6. I don't know. I think it was a 6. I'm going to go ahead and bring up Ryan Bailey. I see that we have 7s. What else do we have? A 6, a 7.5, an 8.375. I'm going to say a 6 for now. Let me ask Ryan. Guys, let's welcome So Bad It's Good with Ryan Bailey. Good morning.
Sorry this took a second.
No, my gosh. Long time no see, man. How are you?
I know. Good to see you.
Good to see you. I feel like it's been a while.
It really has. Somebody was just messaging me last week saying, you need to go back on Up and Adam Live. You do?
Hey.
Yes, I do. Please.
I know. And every time we end up talking back and forth, it's always like a last minute thing. And it's my fault. I'm an asshole, guys. It's me.
No, I'm the jerk. Are you kidding me?
I love this. But no, Ryan, I am curious. How are you, like, especially after watching last night's episode, what do you think you would give it?
I would give it like a 6 to a 7. Like it's there's so many good things about it, but there's still so much that I dislike about it, and it's really rooted in the past. I mean, this is something that you're going to hear everybody say, I would imagine. I'm just so over the Teresa and Melissa, and that stuff just brings the show down for me. So anytime it goes past that, I don't know. I think for some reason, Jersey just seems like it's a Groundhog's Day kind of show where I feel like I'm reliving the same experience, even when they're on these beautiful trips. I mean, all of the pieces of the show work, but together some way, it doesn't leave you feeling satisfied in a lot of ways for me personally. So like, I'll watch every episode, but for some reason, it just doesn't ever take off fully. Every time it seems to like really get there, something holds it back. And for me, that feels like it could be a direct thing of Teresa and Melissa. It just never seems to go anywhere.
Okay, so question, before we get into the New Jersey of it all, I saw where a lot of fans on Twitter were not so excited with the product of the trailer for the Real Housewives of Orange County now that it's officially come out and we waited so long. I'm curious to just pick your brain for a second. What did you think?
Listen, I thought it's a lot. It's not Jersey related in the sense that I think the old things are holding it back, but it was very unsatisfying in terms of, did it get us excited for June 7th? Of course, but we were already excited to see this series. The trailer didn't give us a lot of anything. It was great to have Tamra back. It was great to see Vicky do the jump scare at the end. But in terms of the actual plot line, we have the new lady, Jennifer, joining the cast. But I really couldn't tell you what this season is going to be about or what the overall theme is. I mean, you could have interspersed those clips of Shannon Bedore going, I'm done. You could have interspersed those in any season and not like, I don't know what makes this season unique. Like, I thought it was very clever editing to do the 1950s housewife opening, but I sometimes get scared when they put those kind of bits in there because it feels like they're trying to gussy up something that needs gussied up, instead of just showing us like take the Vanderpump Rules trailer or even the mid-season trailer. You're like, wow, I know exactly what this is about. Right. I do not know. There's a couple strings they threw in that trailer in terms of plot, but I really couldn't tell you what it's about. So it looks good. I'm so glad to see all these ladies back. And I'll be watching every episode, but it didn't get me excited in the way that I'm like, damn, they might really have an amazing season. I'm hoping they just held everything back and they're just going to blow us away with the actual season.
See, I feel like like exactly what you're saying. Like there wasn't any real storytelling in that trailer. And it makes me nervous, like you said too, to kind of piggyback off of it, because on the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City season 3 reunion, we got a lot of the footage of them like in between having their lunch breaks and stuff. And it was because we didn't have much footage from the reunion. So they needed to make whatever work that they could. And I'm hoping that that's not the case for this, because like you said, when you gussy something up,
What?
we
Not,
can
by
see
the way,
it.
not to be confused with Hussy, which is what what's his name's mom was calling Dolores, a hussy. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. By the way, I loved her. Also, I will want to say the thing with Tamara back though, the moments they chose to include of Tamara, it seemed like she was imitating herself. If that makes sense, it
Right.
was like she was imitating past things that were successful for her. So she was like, liar, 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 liar. And she was like screaming these things. And I hope those things are rooted in some sort of reality. And she's not doing that just to be like, yes, I want to make a splashback on the Housewives. Like, I think these shows really work when the reality of that situation, whatever their situation is, plays out. And I hope she's not doing that for our benefit at all, if that makes sense.
No, I completely agree. I completely agree. All right. So we pick up where we left off with all of the women getting a little drunky pants, and we're back inside of a Sprinter. I love a good Sprinter. Well, it's
Well,
not even
finally,
a
we're
Sprinter.
getting
It's just a
cameras.
van.
At least they have cameras in this Sprinter van. That's a nice touch.
Listen, that's true. And Melissa's a little bit tipsy, and she's talking about wanting to drunk call her ex after stealing the glass of wine from the restaurant. And you can see her with their glass of wine. And Teresa's ears go up, and she's like, did she just say her ex? Interesting. Melissa, whether you're drinking or not, you cannot give any ammunition to your sister-in-law.
I don't know why she would say, like, I that's what I don't get. And I guess we got to be thankful for it, because then you get to have like moments like this where she says stuff like that. But why would you say something like that knowing that Teresa is on that van with you? I don't know. That I get so confused about reality stars these days saying stuff like that. It's like, why are you making this more difficult on yourself?
Right. No, I completely agree. I completely agree. And of course, this is going to be weaponized against her. But what I did like was the next morning when we wake up for breakfast and we do get to meet Paul's mother, his sister, and I believe it was his niece. His mom was so cute. And I love when she keeps calling Dolores a hussy. And I think it's funny when the New Jersey women are like, you can call me a see you next Tuesday, call me a bitch, call me whatever you want. Don't call me a rat.
Yeah, the
And it's
rat.
like,
The
what?
rat is the rat's the biggest thing that you can't call them, I guess.
Yes, you cannot. You cannot. But they, his family arrived at the castle, and it was really sweet to see that the family loves Dolores, and you can see the women, and they're questioning the mother, and the mother's really funny. And I like how she thought that none of the guys were hot on the calendar. But then you had Danielle, and she had a little bit of a moment too. She had a few moments in this episode.
I hope is Danielle. I don't know if Danielle seems to be slipping away throughout the season. Like, she feels like it's mentally getting to her. She's having a lot of really emotional not outbursts, but like she's getting very emotional at multiple times this episode. And I do wonder, like, I you know, it's interesting. She started off so strong, but I do wonder if this season and next season, if this is really chipping away at her self-confidence, her ego. The reminder of her situation with her brother keeps getting brought up, and she seems very emotional in these last couple of episodes.
Yeah, and I think for her too, like I did an interview with her and I asked her about this, and she said next season she's going to come on like a lot hotter, a lot stronger, not hotter physically, but just like she's going to come into it now knowing what she knows. And I think that that's great, because I feel like for every first season for a housewife, it's like, what the hell is going on here? I have to learn the dynamics. I have to learn the production of it all. I have to, like, there's so many different moving parts that the women have to pick up on that the other women already are ahead of the game with. They know the production. They know how this is going to work. They know where not to slip up and where to add something in order to keep the storylines moving. And I feel like for Danielle right now, she's absolutely freaking exhausted.
Yeah, you know, I like that point that you said about the other ladies knowing their way around the show, which of course they do. But there was a great scene last episode where it was Fuda and Danielle fighting, and you could see around the table all the other ladies kind of just like not checked out, but they're like, oh wow, they're really going at it right now. And they were, you know, it was very interesting to watch the old guard watch the new guard go with each other.
Yeah.
And you could almost, I think it was like breakfast or something, and you could almost see of like, okay, newbies, you know, waste all your energy here, I guess. We're not going to jump in. And I thought it was very interesting It was like, watching like old wrestlers look at the new wrestlers and go, hey, have fun. I'm going to just eat my breakfast right now. And I thought that was such an interesting scene because usually you have people jumping in right and left and they just let Fuda and Danielle just go back and forth. And I think that energy I love. That's why I don't want this show to get shackled down by old guard. I want this show, like, I like Fuda and Danielle. I root for them. And I think there's like, if they really cultivate, these ladies and their and who they really are, I think Jersey can be there for many seasons to come because of people like that. I mean, that's what I love about these shows is you get to be interested in new stories and new dynamics and new personalities. The only thing about Danielle, though, is that I really hope that they're not going to try to bring her brother in, but it seems like they've hit that note so much that they must be trying to, if they're going to let her speak about it so much. But I think that's such a mistake because we've already, we're trying to get away from the Teresa Joey stuff. Why bring in the Danielle and her brother stuff?
Well, I asked Danielle about this, and Danielle said that his brother's wife is extremely closed off when it comes to anything like this. And she will absolutely not let this happen. So, I mean, we'll see, because also, to be fair, from Teresa's side of the story, she didn't know Melissa and Joe were coming on until they started filming. So you never know until the new season starts. And then all of a sudden you might have some new cast members.
I mean, I listen, I'll trust, I guess, whatever, but I'm so curious. Yeah. How are you guys feeling? I thought Danielle was such a great addition in the beginning. It is interesting to see this other side of her where she's feeling attacked a little bit. Danielle started. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Auntie is right. She's starting to kind of slip from how strong she started. But I don't know. I also think part of it is, once you're a newbie, you're forced almost to pick sides between Melissa and Teresa. And I think all of that, like, I don't know. I feel like there's weird pressure on both sides. You have like the Marge contingent, you have the Aiden and Teresa contingent, and these newbies sometimes feel like they're forced to pick a side. And that sometimes detracts from who they actually are. Yeah.
No, I agree with that. Ryan, I have a very serious question for you.
Yeah.
Have you ever played a game of Catch the Cock?
Yeah, you know what? I started playing it last night after I saw this, and it was very hard. I was trying to find a chicken in Los Angeles, but I finally did find one, and by the way, this looks like a very easy game. Like, like they were like catching the cock, the chicken very quickly. It was cute. By the way, I don't like it's fun to see. It's fun to see these kind of like stupid little, like, I liked them jumping in the mud. I like that to break. Yeah. Like I thought this is kind of, I like these moments if you can then intersperse it with moments of actual conversation and stuff. But yeah, I didn't mind this.
I agree. And, from here, the ladies had to paint a story of Teresa's life. And I thought it was interesting that Teresa had a little bit of a breakdown, and she was like, please don't put bars up or anything like that. Like,
oh my God. Dude, wait, do you think they were going to draw the paintings of Teresa's life, and Teresa immediately starts crying, which was heartbreaking. But like, do you think any of the ladies would have literally drawn her in prison? Like, that's what blew my mind, is that Teresa immediately went to, somebody's going to draw me behind bars. And I'm like, no, like, I mean, even if those ladies didn't like her, like, I would know already that these ladies wouldn't be like, well, here's the time you went to prison and these bars represent a prison system. Like, none of those ladies would have done it. And that was the first time in Teresa's mind. It was that part, actually. I so empathized with Teresa, but I didn't realize how on the surface that is still for her, that she was in prison like that. It was so quick.
Yeah, no, I agree. But I think that sometimes you don't know what people are capable of or what they'll do, whether it's for a TV show or whether they're just following their gut. They think they're funny or whatever the case is, because we didn't know that Rachel was going to be banging Tom Sandoval. We don't know shit.
Wait, that's not been proven, Adam. That's not been proven. I'll believe it when Raquel says it. No.
First name Ryan, middle name so bad it's good with
Ryan Bailey. Yeah, no, I thought the prison thing, that gave me a laugh and it made me sad at the same time. And also, none of those ladies are good artists. I like Melissa did a nice thing of like, this is your family coming over from Italy, and it's like basically stick figures. I was just like, this is such nobody was like I thought that was. I literally was going to make, the only one I liked was it Aiden's with the table flip. I was like, that is made for a meme. That drawing of like.
But we did get a moment out of this. We got a moment
Yeah.
because, you know, we saw where Melissa drew her family coming over from Italy, and Teresa did sort of mention, and I saw this happening in slow motion, and Jason's like, this is about to get up really quick. And I'm like, no, this is a moment. And Teresa mentioned that she wanted Melissa's son Gino in the wedding. And then Jennifer Aiden says, so are you asking them all to be in the wedding? And she's like, no.
Yeah,
no, I'm not.
It's like one step forward, two steps back. There's never like that was a nice moment. Like that was a nice moment. And it's one of those things where none of these ladies will give an inch, it feels like. Every time Teresa's like, okay, Gino in the wedding, can you just put everybody in the wedding? No, I can't do that. So it's like I'm so tired of all of this. Honestly, I'm just so tired of all of it. At this moment, nobody be in the wedding. I don't care. Like this wedding is now, I don't know. How many more episodes of this season do we have?
I don't know. Teresa said on my interview with her that somewhere in May is when her wedding special comes. So I would imagine that we only have 3 or 4 episodes left. So I'm definitely excited for that. But also, I don't blame Melissa for like, even when the guys, and we're going to get to that in a second, but when the guys are giving Bill Aiden shit saying like, you know, you're a last minute addition to the wedding, right? Like they did not care to have you in. And then you see Melissa and she's like, my family's not going to be used as a freaking prop for this wedding. And I was like, we're not giving we're just not giving here on either sides at all.
No, it's like, but that's like, I feel like it should be bleeped out every time they bring up the wedding. I feel like I feel like they should just, and if production is listening to any of the fans, I feel like we're like 70% in agreement on this, that this thing is so old and done that like, just like, I don't even want to try for reconciliation. Let's just accept they will never get along. They're never going to be family again and just move on. Like, please do not give us another season of them getting their feelings hurt by something Teresa and Louie did, and Teresa and Louie getting sad about them not being there for their big events. I don't want any of it. Like, I've seen this now for so many seasons. I would like to enjoy I would like to enjoy their wedding without having to like mix up Melissa and Joey in it. And I'm not even I don't know. I just don't care. I just don't care.
His give a damn is broken, you guys.
No, I know that felt like I want to see all the hair, like the Teresa hair and all the bobby pins she puts in it. I want to see and like, I don't want Teresa and Louie off the show. And I don't know if I even want Melissa and Joey off the show, but I just think that we've gone as far as we can with this. Because even if they make up, they're only going to make up for an episode. And then the next episode, somebody's going to be upset that somebody didn't get invited to something else. And then we're going to have this whole fight all over again. And we're going to deal with this for the rest of our lives watching this show. And this show is better than that.
Well, I also feel like too, when they're eating lunch and Teresa mentioned that Bill was asked by Louie to be a part of the wedding. And she's like, you know, they've always been there for us. They've always supported us. And I don't have real family. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like the minute that we take 2 steps forward, like you said, we're taking another 3 back. And then you see Melissa like, there we go again. She doesn't have family. And I'm like, I get both of their sides. I really do understand both sides. I'm exhausted. I'm mentally exhausted. Like I have a dog in this fight. And I absolutely do not have any dogs in this fight. It's like, what the is
How
happening?
How many times can we see Melissa cry and feel like she was like, Teresa said something mean about not having family, and then we have to watch Melissa cry, and then we have to watch Teresa cry. And meanwhile, there's all of these other great ladies in the room that I'm sure have some sort of story that we are not being able to focus on because we're so focused on this. You would think that Teresa and Melissa are the only people that know what family is in the show, because they all have families. They all that's the thing, is that this isn't unique to them. Like we already have Danielle and her brother have the same situation going on. I just don't think there's any other new thing that we could possibly uncover with this situation. And listen, I'm more fascinated on learning more about Louie. I'm more fascinated on learning the ins and outs of that relationship. I'm more fascinated, like there are things that are super interesting to me that have nothing to do with those 4 people together.
Right. Right. No, 100%. And you know what's weird is like even Andy Cohen has mentioned several times that he feels like they've all hit a wall. And I'm curious to see because Andy said on radio, Andy, that he almost got up and walked off of the reunion set, which is so unlike him. But at
do
the
you
end of the
believe
day,
that? Or is that Andy just trying to hype up the
I don't know.
reunion?
See, that's the thing is like it's the boy who cried wolf with Andy because now he always has to finish every sentence with, I know you guys say I hype everything up. But if you're having to say that, then that's already a problem because people then are only not believing your hype because they feel let down in the past over the hype that you've hyped up.
Well, he, you know, and by the way, that's his position is to get everybody excited. He is the leader of it. But like also, he's the guy that said, "Oh, this OC trailer is worth the wait. Believe me. Oh my God, I've seen it. It's amazing." And he does this with everything. So I appreciate why he does that, but I don't necessarily, when it comes to these kind of things, I don't necessarily believe him, which is fine. We're such a discerning audience and very sophisticated at this point where we know immediately how we feel about things. So I always think it's funny, but I don't necessarily trust him when it comes to the big, like the trailers. I've seen this season. I've been at the reunion. I usually will watch it for myself and decide without Andy telling me. I mean, but it is interesting. I think it would be amazing if Andy was able to really break through to Teresa. And he said, yeah, he said he got the angriest he's ever been at Teresa, that he had to apologize. And I think with Teresa, though, it's very hard because she's such a special person and character and historical in terms of Bravo, but you really can't get through to Teresa a lot of the times. And she doesn't think the way that a lot of other people think. And I think that's why people love her. But at the same time, it's very hard to have any sort of argument with her because it takes a while for her to actually understand. And that's where Louie, you see him being the Teresa whisperer a lot of the times. But it's kind of, he'll be like, "Teresa, you aren't listening. Look at me. Look at me." Like it's very intense when he deals with Teresa, but she does seem to listen to Louie. And I heard Louie got rattled at the reunion as well.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, one thing that is a breath of fresh air, I would say, in any of the episodes when it comes to the Real Housewives of New Jersey would be the moments with the husbands. And we have all of the husbands headed over to Joe Benigno's house because Frank has gone into the marijuana business. And while doing so, he has the gummies, he has the joints, he has all the products, and now he wants to share with the guys. It seems like a good time. I love the husbands. Even when Rachel Fuda's husband tries having a moment with Danielle's husband, the Adonis of Real Housewives of New Jersey, you can see like he's like, "What's up with your wife calling my wife a rat?" And then he's like, "I can't even concentrate on this conversation because these two guys over here are acting like they're about to make out or whatnot." And it's like, because nobody gives a shit about the conversation. Like we're just now getting to, we don't need you guys to fight. The husbands don't fight. We need you guys. Like, where's Nene Leakes when she's like, "Stay out of women's business"?
Well, I mean, I think also, don't you think that was like the two newbies trying to have that conversation is like, you know, they're learning their way around cameras as well. Yeah. They're learning, you know, like I think that I listen, the guy scenes, like Joey Gorga is one of my favorite housewives. He's not even a house husband to me. He's a housewife. And I think him and like Frank and Bill, they really are a good team of guys in terms of they can just cut to them. And it can be really fun and funny if they want it to be, in a way that the women sometimes really can't fully do it. Like men, we are such one-track minds that sometimes we don't stay mad at people for as long as the women do. And so you're able to kind of put aside BS and just look completely stupid like a lot of these men do. And to us, or to me, that is really funny because they don't really talk like they'll talk about real stuff very minimally. And then they're just like, "Oh my God, I'm so hungry. I'm so stoned. I love," you know, by the way, this is what DJ James Kennedy would love this. Guys night. This is the guys night I want. Yes.
And I was thinking about Joe too. Like this has to be a punch in the gut that Louie is invited. Louie doesn't even know Bill Aiden. Like he's known him for a year, and all of a sudden,
dude,
it's like
that's the weird.
It's like when Katie was yelling at Tom Schwartz, and she was like, "Really, you have to be a groomsman for Brock, who you've hung out with 3 times in the last year?"
I'm very honored to be Brock's groomsman, but like, it's very true. If like Jennifer Aiden, see, that's what I hate is that Jennifer Aiden still is in that kind of Teresa bubble where she thinks like being with the queen will come down on her and bless her with many riches in life, and you know, she very very, very proud that Bill got asked to do it. And of course, Bill said yes. But the reality of that situation is, if I was Bill Aiden, I'd be like, what? Wait, I don't even really, I mean, I know because of the show. And I wonder if Jennifer was like, Bill, you're going to do it. You have to do it. You're not, there's no way you're going to say no.
Yeah, she was like, you were taking your ass out there and you were doing this. This is going to be televised. It's going to be the biggest wedding on Bravo. Yes, 1,000,000% Bill, you are doing the day. You cheated on me, you motherfucker.
Yeah,
you are
yeah,
going to
you
walk
cheated
in that
on me.
wedding. Like, I could see it now. And, it's wild to me, especially hearing everything that, by the way, I am happy to hear that at least these two, oh God, that was a pixelated photo. At least Margaret Josephs and Jennifer Aiden were able to make up at the reunion. That makes me happy. But
by the way, Jen Aiden looked, if you watch What Happens Live, Jen Aiden looked really beautiful last night on Watch What Happens Live. Jen Aiden, that's Melissa.
No, that's Jen me saying what?
No, I was just trying to.
I'm just kidding. No, she did. She did.
Yeah,
she did. She looked great. I actually I enjoy Jennifer Aiden. There's not one person on this cast that I don't like right now. I find the entire cast, like, there are certain storylines that I'm sick of watching at this point. Yes, but there's not one cast member from Jen Fessler to the newbies. Like, if there was anybody who I wouldn't necessarily need on the show, it would probably be Jackie Goldschneider. Otherwise, everyone else.
Well, why did they say Jackie is a friend of, when I feel like Jackie's been at all of the events? I feel like Jackie, it's maybe because they're just not focusing on a very separate storyline for her. But I feel like I've seen her so much this season for somebody that was a friend of. So I'm very curious about that. But yeah, I like all of these ladies, but I will say, though, in saying that still doesn't mean it works as a group.
Right.
I like all of these ladies individually. When they come together as a group, I think we're close, but I think we're not there yet in terms of a perfect cast. In terms of you throw the ball to anyone, like separately, they all work together. Like I say, I really think this is shackled down with that Teresa Melissa stuff. If you take that out, you're going to let other people pop up and storylines are going to evolve. Like, I feel like they should be like a swear jar. Every time you bring up this storyline, Melissa and Teresa have to put in $1,000 every time this gets brought back up, just because you got to
charity.
Stop. Yeah, like, you got to stop this storyline for by whatever means necessary, and let new people come in, because you want the overall health of this show, because you want the show to continue for as many seasons as we want it to.
No, I agree with that. I agree. And, speaking of Danielle too, I mean, the ladies do a whiskey tasting, and obviously we see Jennifer Aiden is a little bit litty city, but Danielle and Rachel go at it all over again, which is another storyline that we're over, you guys, with you called me a rat. What does that mean, rat? Use your words more carefully. Why are you calling me a rat? What's your problem? You didn't say she had an arsenal? Yeah, I said she had an arsenal. Okay, so then what is our argument? She called you a rat. And then Melissa Gorga's over here, and she thinks Danielle is the one who's getting all the heat, when really this isn't even a Danielle-Rachel fight. This is something that was instigated by Jennifer Aiden and Teresa Giudice in an effort to take Margaret Josephs down.
Yeah. I sometimes feel like, is production like going, hey, bring up the rat thing again? Like, I sometimes wonder how we keep getting back to these moments and these beats, when I'm just now curious more from a production standpoint, you don't have other things to focus on or talk about, or I don't know how we keep getting back to these same beats played over and over again in just different locations.
Yeah, no, and I thought it was interesting too at the end, where Margaret sort of claps at Danielle and she tells her that her family dynamics will never change. They will always stay the same, because she does not have the ability to move forward. And I was like, oh man, you hit a nerve. But one thing that's really great about Margaret Josephs and Jennifer Aiden is, one, they're quick, they're witty as hell, and two, they just deliver. Like, whether it's a moment that they're uncomfortable, if they're clapping back in that moment, whether it's their confessionals, like conversations, they're quick and they keep storylines moving, which is something I really appreciate about the both of them, about the twos of them. Two of them?
The twos. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, listen, I completely agree. And I just don't know. I'm just, my main thing of watching this again and again and again is that I feel like I'm watching the same thing again and again and again. And I want it to I'm saying the same thing over and over again. It's just one of those things, when I watch it, there are moments that I really enjoy. And then there's oh God, help them. Yeah. Booga Wolf. I'm a Booga Wolf. I think these ladies are really a talented cast. I just want the storyline to pop up in a better way. But like, you know, I hate to bring Vanderpump Rules up again, but if something really crazy happens to this cast, if you know, maybe this is the best cast like to have when something really goes down. I just don't want any new information to be in regards to Teresa and Melissa. But maybe, God, what if Louie got involved in a cheating scandal? Maybe this cast would be the right cast to really, you know, have one of the best seasons ever next season.
I mean, listen, you never know. You never know. And especially about this cast, I'm curious who you think is the stronger newbie as far as Housewives, not Jen Fessler, but Rachel Fuda or Danielle Cabral.
If you had asked me earlier in the season, it would have been Danielle hands down. And then now Fuda is coming on so strong to me, like where I'm like, wow. And I'm really enjoying her family dynamic. I find her husband ridiculous. So I don't know. Like I think Danielle's the obvious choice, but I'll go Fuda. I really am kind of excited to see where she goes. She's able to handle herself in a fight. You know, I don't know. And I will say that's a switch, but like I said, I like both of them, but I think Fuda is really coming on strong in this latter half of the season.
Do you think if Teresa, Melissa, and Joe and Louie did get into it as hardcore as they're telling us that they did at the reunion, which is exactly what everybody expected, do you feel like they will still bring everyone back next season? Or do you think that Bravo might give somebody a little bit of time off in order to see how the show plays out?
Wait, I'm sorry. Between who and who? You one of the
Teresa
newbies,
and Melissa. Do you think that? I mean, obviously, Bravo would give Melissa and Joe time off. It wouldn't be Teresa.
Yeah, I mean, if that would be the choice, it would be Melissa and Joey, hands down. I think if they do that, though, they would find a way to give them a spinoff or something because they are so integrated into the Bravo universe that it would be very interesting if they really did give them pink slips. I would find that, and you know, Joey would be crying about it harder than Melissa, and it would be bad news bears. But I don't know at this point. I do think they have to figure it out. I just think that Bravo would try to do that with them in the gentlest way possible, where they would try to find a way to do some spinoff like Joey loves Melissa or something like that. But I don't know if they're going to have any. I mean, what do you think? Do you really think they can continue this way with all four of them?
If they did a spinoff, they would have to incorporate Melissa's sisters. And it would have to be like a whole family show. I didn't even think about a spinoff, but I don't know. If they're willing to keep putting themselves in uncomfortable situations like the reunion where they can still have conversations and go to bat, then I think that they could still keep them around. But if there's really no resolution, like Bravo producers, Andy Cohen, they will have to listen to the fans too when the fans say, enough, like this is exhausting. So I don't know.
The other way to think about it too is that, you know, thinking about like athletes retiring, like Michael Jordan, you know, all of the greats, you know, what if Teresa, you know, is there a world in which Teresa retires, like going out on top? She's a legend. She's a Mount Rushmore housewife. What if, I mean, if she's in love now, if she's truly in love, she's got this beautiful family. Is there a world in which she's like, I have enough. I really want to focus on the love and not the hate. Really, you're like, no, just absolutely not. Just absolutely
no. I think Teresa's like, this is my show, bitch. Like, I don't think that she would leave. I think that she's made it known that she wants to go to the West Coast when all of her daughters graduate, but she has another 4 years. So I don't think that she will be going anywhere anytime soon.
Well, I hope she'll consider it. I mean, like, no, she's got such a good life and she says she's all about the love, love, love. Well, I don't think this is the show for love, love, love. And I don't know, like, I find this one of the toughest decisions to make ever because I just don't think they can coexist in a way that is fair for the audience at all.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I do wonder. Wait, do you know, because you have all these connections, do you know if, like, does Melissa feel the heat of, like, potentially getting a pink slip? Do you know? Like, because I would imagine if I were them and you pay attention to any of the fans or anything like that, you would know that we're conflicted, but, like, we also realize somebody potentially has to go here. I wonder if they get nervous. It's like, I always compare it to Saturday Night Live. because the cast usually doesn't know if they're coming back until a couple weeks before the new season starts. And so you're waiting all summer to know if you're getting brought back. And I hear it's very nerve-wracking. And I wonder if Melissa feels that, and Joey to a degree as well.
She mentioned on her On Display podcast that she knows that it's definitely a possibility, but she didn't speak on any emotions regarding like if that time comes.
Yeah.
So she didn't say like I would be so sad or anything like that, but she was like, is it a possibility that Bravo tells one of us to sit it out? Yeah, it's a possibility. But I think that's good though. At least they're very aware that that could be a possibility, because I mean, it definitely is. Like, if this becomes a pain in the ass for production and fans no longer find it interesting to watch, at the end of the day, this is a business and that's a TV show. They got to figure it out.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think Joey and Melissa, and this is a very loose thought, is that they're actually they live in more of a real world than Teresa does, if that makes sense. Teresa, like I said, when you communicate with Teresa, it's very different. I feel like Melissa, as annoying as she can be to people, she still does have, like, she can, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like Teresa is just such an interesting special case, but it's hard to have like full on conversations with Teresa because she doesn't fully sometimes understand what everybody around her means.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like, and I think that's also what makes her so special and very different. But Melissa and Joey, I feel like I don't know. I'm very confused about this whole thing because I really don't know where you go.
We're both confused. But with the state of confusion that we're currently living in, Ryan, what are you looking forward to most from the rest of the season? Like, we obviously know we're not getting resolved. So what's the next best thing for you?
For it to be over, that'll be exciting. No, I'm looking forward to the wedding. I really am. I really do get fascinated with any kind of Louie footage because, listen, I thought it was a very interesting scene at one of the parties when he like lost it. It was the same episode where he was like, I wear your grandpa's PJs at night for the girls. It was that party, and you saw him lose it, and you saw that kind of mask slip away. And Melissa said something interesting of like, I don't know. I think Louie, if you think about it this way, of like somebody that wants to be positive, that wants to like, but that deep down inside, there is this rage and anger, and he's always trying to cover it up. I find that very fascinating because, listen, we've all read a lot of the stuff about Louie and his ex-girlfriends and stuff like that. And I just can't imagine all of that is just a coincidence. And there's all of those women are lying. So I really am curious of the real Louie, and it doesn't mean that he's not working on himself on a daily basis, but I thought that scene was interesting because he got so upset, and you see this, he's like, and I was like, wow, you could really sense some real anger underneath there. And I'm really interested to see more from Louie because he is always trying to put a positive spin on things. But I wonder about that, like when somebody does that, that just means there's such a deep anger in them that they're trying to work so hard to get rid of that other side. And that mask slipping sometimes I find very fascinating. And I'm wondering if we're going to get any more scenes like that. And especially with the wedding, because we're also going to have to hear Louie and Teresa when they find out Joey and Melissa are not coming. I'm interested to see how all that goes down, because I think that will truly be painful to watch, even though we're tired of this whole storyline. That specifically will be insane because a wedding really is such a huge deal. And of course, I'll be interested for the reunion because I am interested to see how Andy navigates these waters.
I mean, this is going to be an absolute shit show. I think we can both agree on that. This is going to be a shit show, and I'm waiting for things to come out, and we're just going to have to be patient on this one. But Ryan,
wait, do you think Teresa's kids are going to get involved more too? Because she's been bringing the kids more into this and also into the actual conversations against Joey and Melissa. So I'm going to wonder if that's going to continue as well, which I imagine it would. She's already brought them into scenes.
Yeah, I would imagine. I wouldn't imagine that Teresa would get a spinoff though, in any capacity, because I think that they would want to keep her on New Jersey. I feel like she's such a staple for that show. I would see them giving Melissa and Joe a spinoff before, but the fans are really invested in Teresa's kids because we've watched them grow up. We've watched her give birth to, one of them. Like we know, we've seen the kids and the girls grow up, and now all of a sudden they're like in the Bahamas wearing like these cutout dresses and just like full grown women. And it's like, holy shit, when did this happen? So Yeah.
Wait, I just saw this comment. I was like, Vicky Harness says below deck, even if it springs a leak, is much better than a troll show. But I like that's what I'm saying. Like below deck for some, I watched Sailing Yacht, and I'm like, just an engine issue. I'm very excited to watch. Like I like it's very different. Like me watching something like Below Deck as me watching Jersey. I don't have the baggage I have with Jersey when I watch Below Deck, so it's purely enjoyable for me to watch that show. But with Jersey, I think and maybe us as an audience, we come in with our own baggage because we've spent so many seasons with these people. And so it makes it a lot more, it makes it less enjoyable for us to watch the viewer because we've had so many seasons of this. But you watch something like Below Deck and you're like, hey, it's a boat. They're preparing food. It's very fun and easy to watch and exciting.
There's movement. And the real Cynthia said, please stop with the Below Deck boring recaps. No one cares.
Oh, I love Below Deck.
Cynthia. You don't, it's one time a week. Jason and Josh do it at 11 p.m. Eastern, and it's a late night. I'm surprised Jason can even stay up for them. So the best part is, if you don't love Below Deck, you don't have to watch.
Yeah, I mean, you know what I just discovered this? I have a remote control, and what it does, it controls the TV. And so, like, if there's other channels that and they're like a Peacock thing, you can do. It's very fun and exciting. Everybody should get one.
It's wild.
But like, no, the Below Deck, I find, and Below Deck, by the way, should be praised because it is one of, if not the highest rated show on Bravo. It just doesn't get as much social media love as all of the other shows. But it is also the feeder show into Bravo for a lot of men. Like Below Deck is that feeder show that a lot of women can show their boyfriends or husbands, but they'll get them into Bravo through Below Deck and sometimes Summer House. But I think Below Deck is such an important, like it is the highest rated. I mean, not now because of Vanderpump, but it is such a huge part of Bravo.
I agree. But man, I cannot believe we dragged this episode out for 42 minutes. I'm shocked that we were able to even do that.
It's fun listen, this is fun to talk. This is a joy to talk about these things. So we can, I mean, like this is the easiest thing to do is talk about these shows that we love or hate or whatever, like life is hard. This is fun.
And now we just have to get ready for Bravocon, Ryan.
Yes. By the way, we should have some fun announcements about Bravocon. I'm sure coming up. I'm very, very excited for that. That's going to be insane. I can't wait to see everybody's Ozempic up close. I can't wait to see all the. By the way, Erica Jane, they haven't announced it, but you probably think she's going to be like the Tom Sandoval in the Most Extras show, right?
Probably, I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm sure
I would have to imagine
some sort of performance of some kind, and should definitely. That's 100% she will be.
Well, also, wait, sorry, I know you got to go, but do you think also, my thought, I know to bring this Vanderpump Rules, but it's Vanderpump Rules night. Tom Sandoval still doesn't seem to get it. He won't lay low. He wants to still be out there. I have a feeling that dude's going to still be proudly at Bravocon. He's going to be proudly that dude does not want to hide at all.
The security issues. Unless this has a lot of potential to die down before then, especially with Ariana moving on and being happier now. So I don't know if it's a huge security issue. They're not going to let. They won't.
What do you mean security? I don't think any of the fans are going to kill him. What are you talking about? Security?
I mean, with the nasty, with people threatening him on the streets of St. Louis and stuff like that.
Do you think that was real?
Yeah, I do, because I think that I remember working at Tom Tom and Pump or at Sir and just seeing how sometimes the diehard fans really react to whatever that week's episode is. And I remember seeing how passionate that they can get. And I remember the Bravocon crowd last year. So, yes.
Oh, my God. I just thought the Vanderpump Rules panel. But Tom still, even with being a bad guy now, he's still, you can tell there is this glint in his eye that he kind of, as much as he hates it, he's kind of weirdly thrilled that he just doesn't know how to harness this, because all of the other cast members can harness this and make money from it. And he has not found a way yet to do it. But it is interesting that all of a sudden the dude's using his social media. The dude never really used his social media. And now he's posting everything, archery and climbing mountains and stuff like that. But I don't know. I'm really curious about how fans will react to him in a setting like Bravocon. Schwartz is going to get off easy once again, but Tom, I'm just very curious how, but at the same time, he's famous in Bravo circles. So I feel like people will just be excited to to see him regardless of what he's done. It's like Jax in a way.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. If they'll let him go, then he'll definitely be there. Even when like the TMZ reporters are like, you're kind of a celebrity now. You see that like shit-eating grin, like he loves.
That's what I'm saying. Josh, my favorite TMZ reporter, he's like, okay. Hey, Tom, I know it's kind of a dumb question, Tom. Like, he's such a funny interviewer, and the way he comes about it is so innocent, and he always says, okay, Tom, what's going on with Raquel? Have you talked to her, Tom? And so he's like, listen, dude, listen. She's in a facility. You cannot call her. You cannot text. Like, it was like, then he was intense. And then he's like, well, you're kind of a superstar now, Tom. And he's like, oh, Josh, come on. Like, and then you could tell he loved it so much. He couldn't help but smile. And that's what I was like, this dude, he really does care. That's why I think this thing really breaks his heart, not because of Ariana, but because he was considered such a good guy. And to have that slip away from him, to have that take off his LinkedIn achievements, hurts him. I think not being considered a good guy hurts him.
I agree with that. I 100% agree with that. But we'll have to listen. We'll wait and see. I can't wait to see
why did Ted get blocked? Was Ted saying something bad about me?
No, Ted wasn't saying anything bad about you.
I was looking at the I was looking at the little the chat all of a sudden. Yeah. So anyways, I'm very excited for Bravocon, if you can't tell. I mean, it's only how many 6 short months away?
Yeah. 6 months. That's gonna fly.
I gotta start working out.
Me too, friend.
Okay.
Me too.
Anyways, thanks for having me again. I really appreciate it, dude.
Ryan, thank you so much as always for coming on. I appreciate you, and definitely we have to do something again together soon because,
dude, I'm saying you got to come on my show still. Like, I'm so bad at by the way, you guys know this. Up and Adam, they run such an amazing operation. As somebody that's trying to get into YouTube, like dipping toes in the water, I'll just post full interviews and stuff. But what you guys are doing are really, really special. It's like, it's what you consider a network in a way. This is a network that you are constantly churning out content. This is so damn cool. And it's like, you don't need a television, like this is your television show. This is like, to me, this is so amazing what you do. And I will sometimes go on your videos, even like I like the below deck stuff. And I will sit there and go, look at what they're doing. This is really, truly incredible. So, I mean, just hats off. You have the best audience on here, and people really look to you for all the news, all of that stuff. And it really is very inspiring as somebody that's just, I think I'm decent at podcasting, but this is just what you've created is mind blowing to me.
Thanks.
And
Ryan.
you can tell the people love it. The people eat up, like you post a video, people are there.
Hey, we appreciate you, Ryan. Now, Ryan, for everyone who's listening right now, too, we have almost 500 people in the room. Will you let them know if they don't know where they can find you? And guys, I have it pulled up here as well.
Wait, Tamara attacked Adam, Vicky says?
Yeah, she did.
Was this recently?
On a 420 episode. We spoke yesterday about it. I asked her, I was like, why did you? She's like, I feel like you always make me look like a shit stirrer in your clips. And I'm like, I feel like you literally get paid to stir shit.
Wait a second.
I don't understand your argument.
Wait, she is a wait, come on. She's a proud shit stirrer. How she'll like, by the way, she loves being a shit stirrer. She's actually admitted that before. How would she ever say, but by the way, Tamara is very sensitive. She once blocked me, or she once unfollowed me on Instagram because I made a meme of her running away in that iconic clip. And then she refollowed me later, but she's very sensitive and stuff, which is so funny for being such a shit stirrer. That it's always the real big shit stirrers that are the most sensitive, and I appreciate that. But it is funny that she wouldn't lean into it, because if you put her on that podcast, she lets it rip. Like she looks to like tell personal information. Like, do not tell Freddie Mellencamp or Tamara anything, because it'll be going on that podcast. But I don't see why they can't just like say, yeah, that's what it is, instead of still being offended.
My God, they get offended over everything. It's exhausting. Like, yeah. I can't even. I'm like, they're like, you're so negative. I'm like, what? Like, if I have any negative opinion, it's against anybody who's advocating for Teddy Mellencamp to be back on reality TV. That's my only negative opinion.
Well, I mean, listen, it's probably going to happen at some point, just because I think producers are like, even if you hate somebody, that's still attention in some way. But I just don't know at this point. Like, I get sad when it's like, Freddie, you have the podcast, Tamara's there, it's doing good. Lean into that more. Like, why ever try to get back on that show? Like, I remember coming out of the hotel at Bravocon on my floor, and Freddie was there, and she had a whole team of like makeup artists and hair people, and it was like 8:30 in the morning, and I'm like, what are we doing here? Like, you're not even on the like, what are you like? It's like, love what you have. But she was one of those people that said, if I'm ever off the show, I'm not going to be one of those people that keeps trying to get back on the show. And it always feels like that's what she is now. And she has this great platform that is like, just lean into podcasting fully. Lean into that completely, because it's really successful. The show is whatever. Like, stay off the show. The show's going to end up hurting you in some way. It's like Jax trying to get back on Vanderpump Rules. It's like, dude, if you do that, there's a potential your family could get really hurt, because you might get yourself in a situation again where you cheat and lose Brittany. So why are you pushing to get, like, money is one thing, but you could really ruin relationships because of things like this.
Yeah, just be cool, man. Don't be all uncool.
Don't be all uncool.
That's it. That's literally that's the freaking mantra. Just be cool. Relax. Take it back a bit.
Yeah. Anyways, good talk, you guys.
Brian, thank you so much for joining us. If they don't know, will you let them know where they can find you?
Yeah, the podcast is So Bad It's Good with Ryan Bailey. You can find that on Instagram as well. It's just, a lot of funny memes. This week I had the couple of the cast members from Jury Duty, which is one of my new favorite shows on Amazon Prime. It is hysterical. I have Corey Kiefer from Summer House on tomorrow. We have a lot of reality people. I do huge Vanderpump recaps on Friday, like 2.5 hours long, line by line recaps. So yeah, that's also on YouTube. If you want to watch the full video of me making insane faces and being very hyper, it's all there. Go subscribe, and that's it. And everybody have a great day.
Ryan, thank you so much. We appreciate the hell out of you, and we'll see you so very soon before Bravocon.
Yeah, exactly. Bye, guys. Thanks for the happy birthday wishes.
All right, guys. Well, before we go, I just wanted to let you know that we are going live tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern. We're going live for our Vanderpump Rules after party. That's going to be on Up and Adam channel 2. So make sure you click on that. Make sure you smash that like button, show some love, and join us, because Jason's going to be making some cockies for you. I love you guys so much, and we'll see you so very soon. Thank you to everyone in the live chat, and happy birthday to So Bad It's Good with Ryan Bailey. Bye, guys. Love you.